was your contribution to the role? Was the script really written, or did you add something to it, bring something that was not necessarily thought of by Sheldon and Mr. Gaylord?
Hi, everybody. To answer your question, there was the script was already written, but they were very open to what we had to offer to the lines, to how we deliver them. If we wanted to cut something or add something in, they were very, very much into a collaborative effort with all of us to give the feel of the film. So, and for our roles, I do feel very mother hen like with my friends and stuff like that. So a lot of the lines and the feel of it felt very, very much like barbecue, except for it was Grief Latina. That song.
Hi everybody. I just want to say I am really a nice person. I'm not that. I'm not that bitchy, really. Being that I know a bit about the ballroom scene, coming from Atlanta and living in New York, I wanted to make sure for that side of things that the film was authentic as possible. Like, I knew that a lot of ballroom kids were going to see this film, and it needed to be something that they recognized, one, and two, something that they can completely relate to. So as Barbie said, you know, a lot of things we kind of, you know, tweaked here and there, and they were gracious and open enough to let us kind of say, well, this isn't right, we would say this instead of this verbiage is kind of dated, let's use this, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, and that was really greatly appreciated. And as far as my character, I don't know, I could be a little sassy, so, you know, just kind of, well, yeah, nicer, but it was really fun to play.
Philip also brought an authenticity in the character and his personal life.
Well, touching on that, this could really honestly be my story. I mean, my mom's not that bad, but you know, I'm not really close with my biological family. I'm not really close with my mother. My father is Jamaican, and the whole gay thing was like ridiculous. So this I completely relate to personally, you know, so this kind of on another side has really happened to me, and this story happens all the time, and still in 2011 I know people that have went through this. So, you know, it was very important for me to feel that the film should have a feeling of, you know, some type of realness, some type of authenticity. So that was really important, and I hope you got that.
Hello, everybody. I would definitely say it was a collaborative effort, even down to the choreography, which James also got to do some of it, and it's really amazing. I think that being a part of this film was just such an amazing experience, and just getting to bring everything that we can do, singing, dancing, and acting, to it. I mean, it was just such an amazing experience, and that's all I have to say, but it was an awesome experience. The end.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You can find me on Twitter and Facebook. Like my page, gave me 2,000 followers. It's okay. Effie, I don't know what it was. She and I were kind of like one. She's kind of me, but more ballsy than I am. And also with the script, it was already perfectly prepared, I felt. So I kind of saw it as a blueprint, and I got to build my house and decorate it how I wanted it. That's how Sheldon and Glenn kind of came to us with it. They were like, okay, well, do you want this? Do you like this? Piggybacking off of my other castmates, how they felt about it. It was really collaborative. And that just made the experience in this film 10 times more amazeballs than how it already was. That's how I felt about it. I love that.
Yes, we have a question in the back.
Okay, so if he does call, He's just gonna get voicemail because I'm not really that much of a fan, but he's cute. He's cute. He's cute. No, he's cute. It's really cute. But don't put that. But if he does call, we'll have a nice little conversation. But he hasn't called yet, so if anyone knows him, tell him to hit my cell.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a question there.
Do you know, like if Jenny Livingston has seen it or have you interacted with her at all?
Yeah, I have to say, I hadn't seen the Paris is Burning, and I saw it originally was inspired by it. I hadn't seen it for 12 years, and when we started on the project, I thought I would stay away from the film because I wanted to create our own thing. And so we got accepted into Frameline after Los Angeles, which is a festival in San Francisco, and because they loved our film, and it happened to be literally the 20th anniversary of Paris is Burning. And so they decided to sort of do a screening of it to sort of tee us off. And so they flew Jenny to San Francisco, and I flew up early. And she was great in her own Q&A, and I kind of rushed up and said hi, and didn't expect her to be overly warm. And then I heard she was leaving immediately to go to New York and go back to New York. And so, but we gave her a screener, and she saw it on the plane flying back. And she's absolutely loves our film, which has just been so extraordinary. On our Facebook page tonight, she wrote Break a Leg. We played in New York. She hosted the Q&A. She just has, her heart's open to us, and all of us. It's just a huge, it's like a piece of the gay Bible or something, or the transgender Bible, Paris is Burning. And so, not faint praise indeed, amazing. So thanks for asking, because I want to give a huge shout out to her. If you haven't seen that film or don't know it, go rent it. It's a revelation.
Yes. Okay. Well, first of all, a great job to everyone. It was really awesome. But from a music point of view, what were your influences when writing the music?
Kim, thank you for asking.
My name is Kim. The one thing is that as a musician and director and composer and all those things, I love all types of music. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, so I'm from the Deep South. And one of the things is that when you live in the Deep South, you get to get familiar with a lot of music because there ain't nothing to do. And growing up, I always loved all the genres of music. And then, of course, studied classical, and then fell in love with pop music and R&B music, of course, and soul music, and on and on and on. And then I've been able to be blessed to take that musical ability and then make it into a career and so on and so on. So then I meet these two wonderful men, and they present me with this situation. And there were some references that were given to me of certain things, for I'm willing. There was a line that says, somewhat like a waltz. So that's a waltz if you are a musician, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's like, there were a couple of references, but then also I took off the feeling when Sheldon kind of read it to me like a bedtime story. And as he would read it to me, I also too would think of like if I was this character, how would I sing, this song? So when it got to songs like I'm Willing, and I have a waltz reference, but I then put the soul into it with the waltz, because the thing is that I have to keep the characters in their element, even though I'm doing all these different genres. So the inspiration came from these two guys, putting together on paper, me reading and kind of digesting it all. And, I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid to say, oh, this song can sound gospel, oh, this song can sound R&B. And that's the thing, is I dismissed the fear, and I wanted people to just love the music, because I felt like the storyline was already great. So I just wanted each song to be, wonderful. And I wanted to touch different people, because, even in this audience, I'm pretty sure people say, oh, well, I like, kind of rock, I like, soul music, I like, this type. And I also wanted to be able to have a song that everybody in the audience could identify. So I even asked you, like, from what you saw, what was the song that stuck out to you that you liked?
I really enjoyed the sing-off when it was at the theater. I really enjoyed it because I felt like the contrasting elements were really strong and it showed the emotions on both sides.
Thank you very much. That is exactly what I wanted to portray, the kids against the parents, because as Philip said, let me just say for the black community, when you say you're gay, what happened to Brad? It happens. And it probably happened somewhere in a black household today. You know, so the thing is that it always comes down a lot with the spiritual conflicts, you know, and I wanted to be able to do that in this particular song. And Glenn just talked to me about this song because he had one idea for this song, and he was like, well, don't go listen to me. He says, I really don't know. He says, just make up something. And I said, okay, I will. And reading it, I was reading them going back and forth to each other, I just was like, you know, it's already in a church, so you got to make it a gospel song being in the church, you know. But it needed to. Oh, are you crying? Aw. But that's what we wanted to get.
And Kim's being very humble here. I mean, actually, I recorded a demo of how the music sounded to me before passing it off to her, and I said, this song is so terrible, the tune that I have, anything you do is going to be better than that. So that's really what went down. But, and what inspired me was talking to the ball kids. For example, in the Justin's Gonna Call song, I would ask the kids, you know, who do you find sexy? One kid said, Boris Kojo. So we had a line in there, Boris Kojo gets me wet. You know? And so I really took their stories and tried to weave that into the songs, and that's really what inspired me, is listening to these kids, because in a musical, often the songs are what their aspirations are, what's in their head and what their wishes are. And I thought nobody deserved a musical more than kids who are runaways and throwaways, who, you know, Paris is Burning covered their socioeconomic plight. This, I said, they deserve a musical so that we can see what they want. And that's what I drew from.
I also want to say, I mean, Glenn and I, as two sort of middle-aged Jews, white Jews, working on this project, it was so necessary and humbling to bring Kim on and then to bring our cast on. So the joy was this collaboration. We needed it to resonate truthfully and authentically if it was going to kind of have an impact. So, you know, and at that point, and at one point Kim said, I remember, well, first there were two things were said. She was collaborating with somebody who was having her on the piano, and Brittany said, there's every kind of music in this movie except opera. And so we said, oh, we forgot that. Maybe we should go back to the sequel. But Kim said, you know, when she saw the script, she said, well, you guys have carried it down the field, you know. Let me see if I can kick it over the goal line. So yeah, I think that's what she did.
Style actually falls under, whether it's voguing, whacking, cunty, kinky. I'm not exactly sure where the influence is and where it sits.
Well, thank you.
I'm really excited that you recognize the style of cunty, which a lot of people don't understand. It really is a true style of dance. It's evolved from the Vogue world, from the ballroom scene where they J-set. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but that's where I come from. I'm also born and bred in the South, and we grew up with J-setting more so than voguing, which is also part of the ballroom community, and that's where the cunty style came from. That's what I was mostly influenced by when I came up with some of the choreography in the bowling alley scene and the part where I'm dropping it low in a choir robe. It's definitely inspired by the country scene, also by hip hop when it comes to Justin's Gonna Call, and of course the tango on the rooftop, which was masterfully portrayed by Andre and Afro. It was everything inspired, only because, if you think about it, the Vogue in the ballroom scene, excuse me, I have hip puberty, the Vogue in the ballroom scene really does influence pop culture a lot. So it has its hand in everyone, from Lady Gaga, which is totally different as an artist from Beyonce, who's totally different as an artist from Madonna, who's totally different as an artist from Cher, who all did their hands in the ballroom and the Vogue scene. So it's influenced by every style of dance, I think, that comes along.
We have time for one last question. Yes, please.
Are you gonna have a soundtrack, or is there one planned?
Well, we have a soundtrack, but we haven't sold it yet. So yes, we've got an extraordinary soundtrack to come from it, and we're hoping really, as we find distribution, that'll be part of it. And we know that a lot of people want some things on their playlist, and we're really excited about that. And you know, we're trying to get the song Justin's Gonna Call to Justin, because we're going to help. So again, but thank you so much for being part of tonight, and we